I bumped into the kid the other day. And again, when I was trying, he's in his 20s, he's not a kid. Okay, but anyway, I bumped into him. I was walking home from the store, and he was walking to the store. It was dark, and I saw someone in the distance. I'm like, I wonder who that is. I usually don't bump into people that often when I'm out walking. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's him. This is when I thought that 100% believed he had been the one. Because we got another call. My mom got a call saying, we've had a new report again. She slammed the phone. She wouldn't talk to them. The lawyer told me too that my mom has every right, if she wants to, please talk to them and whatnot, that she has every right to slam the door in their faces or not talk to them. She doesn't have to talk to them. She's under no obligation. I said, are you sure? And he's like, yep. Anyway, I saw it was him. I'm like, oh fuck, and I ignored him. And then he's like, I was wearing, I had purchased at Walmart rabbit, just cheap little ears, and it was night, and I had my contacts in and not my glasses, and he wasn't sure if that was me, but then he's like, is that you? And then I just decided to be open. I was like, I said something like, did you call out the services, or did you feel like, I was out front, and he's like, no. And I said, I haven't seen you, and I feared that, because, look at it from my perspective, the coincidence, they call on Monday, and it was Sunday night that I wanted to run around and jam into my music, and I also had decided to mail him those letters, which was just 2 letters. The only reason I mailed the 3rd letter is I mailed it afterwards when I feared that he and his family together had conspired to call the services, and I wanted to say, I'm sorry, I wasn't here to know, and I would contact you again, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he said, we're cool, it's cool, he didn't do it, he says his family didn't do it, he doesn't know for sure, obviously, he can't prove to me his family didn't do it, but I believe him that, he's like, I'm a grown man, I did not show my parents those letters you sent to me. So if I bump into him again, what I want to say to him, I'm like, I want to say, like, do you know why I gave you those letters? And see what he says. Remember, I joked around sexually, but it was, do you have any friends that's young and hot as you, into old women? But I did that just because he's a guy, and I thought I would be joking and lighten the mood or whatnot. But I started the letter with, I wanted to thank you for being so open and honest with me. Your willingness to be so open and honest with me made me instantly realize that you probably likely not sitting there. You're sitting there judging me and my inability to hide my constant pain. That's what I put, because remember, he's eavesdropped on conversations I had with his father when I shouldn't have trusted his father. I know now, talking to these people, I really trust this married couple, telling me you just don't want to trust anybody, Laura. I don't regret trusting them, obviously, because I found allies who also, enjoy my company and don't mind going out with me sometimes. But anyway, I want to tell that kid, I call a kid, he's not a kid, but if I'm old enough to be your mom, then you're a kid, even though technically you're not a kid. I mean, 18 is legal, but he's not even 18. He's in his early 20s, okay? Anyway, I want to say to him, do you know why I sent you those letters? And if he says, no, I'll say, I wanted to bond with you. He had revealed personal shit, and in this day, everyone knows. I'm like, you know nowadays everyone's so phony and fake. I mean, people, not just nowadays, most people just in general are phony and fake. And for him to reveal personal shit to me You know, I mean, in my drunken brain, I wanted to bond with him. But it's not in my drunken brain because I hadn't bumped into him, and I've been planning to say that in person to him, in person. I never saw him. And then, you know, in my tipsy brain, I decided to send those letters. And then I regretted it, so I sent the one letter, and then the second one was like, sorry for sending the first letter. I was tipsy, I was drunk, I was whatever, but I remember everything I said. I wasn't blacked out drunk or anything. I was just jamming to my music and, you know, blowing off some steam safely. But the thing is, that's why I'd wanted to say to him in person. I never got the opportunity. Weeks went by. I don't see him very often. And I just was dying to say that to him. I threw in the other shit just because, you know, whatever. And he was saying, like, I get it. When I met him in person the other night, I get it, you're horny. No, I threw in that other shit, and certainly not. I'm not hitting on you. He smokes cigarettes anyway. I wouldn't be interested regardless because he smokes cigarettes, but I can fantasize about him. I'm physically attracted to him. And in my fantasies, he's not smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? With cigarette smoke in my face in fantasy. But I'm just glad we're cool. And with, you know, and he said, we're cool, it's fine. I'm a grown man. I know you were drunk. I know you were whatever. And in the end, I don't care if I can't trust that it wasn't his parents that turned me in, especially based on the conversation I'd had with his dad before. Well, I don't like it when people don't get that I love my mom, and it's not like this easy thing where you guys can say, oh, she belongs in a nursing home, you need to make it happen. Or I don't like that shit. Even though people will be nice to me if they think that. You know what I mean? Obviously, it might have to be her fate down the road. It doesn't have to be her fate now. This woman does not belong in a nursing home, okay? Doesn't. And she came to me on her own accord. Oh, and I shared her poems to the mentally ill with those people that I am, you know, that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for them, and they enjoy my company, and I vent to them or whatever, and I certainly never would imagine in a million years they'd want to go out with me. They invited me out one night. Anyway, I shared my poem story, my mom's poem. And then later I shared a couple of my poems. You know, trying to have my mom have a fighting chance. Everything is up to her. If she doesn't want to take her CoQ10 and vitamins like she used to, there's nothing I can do. Really, Joe strongly recommends above all else turmeric. Turmeric is so good, and to combat against the poison, the psych meds that are poison, and toxins. But the turmeric pills I bought from Mega Food are huge. I can swallow them fine, but she can't. So I can get liquid turmeric, but I'm going to ask her. I'm just going to say, if I got liquid turmeric, that's really Joe, you know, she admires Joe, my mom, but you know what? And if she says no, then she says no. That's it. I can only make suggestions. I was guilty in the past of really, for her own good, of course, by trying desperately to help her. Things, but not anymore. Not anymore. Like I said, I make meat and I eat meat now with her, organic meat, but too hard to not eat meat. I told you Joe decided to start eating meat, organic grass-fed meat, so you can only do what you can do. Try too hard to be good, it winds up backfiring in your fucking face. You know what I mean? Just, it's too much. I might go weeks without ever bumping into the kid. If I ever do bump into him again, that's what I'm going to say. I just want him to know. I'm not going to send him my letters. I vow not to do that. So I have to just wait until I bump into him. Obviously, part of I'm itching to send the letter, but I'm not going to do it. Because again, he's not living alone. And I'm just not going to send the letter. Because you don't know that it wasn't his parents that called Health Services on me. You know what I mean? Health Services didn't give specifics to the lawyer. But they were definitely calling on me regarding my emotional state or whatnot. It definitely, no matter what, the kid doesn't want to believe it was his parents, but he doesn't know that it wasn't. And I have a feeling, I still have a feeling that it was. I don't care. I mean, I do care, obviously, but I know someone called them. You know what I mean? If they said they had a new report. When they came that Thursday before, it was, we've been trying to get to you, Mom. We know she's out of the hospital. Remember, they didn't drop it from before. With my mom, I called that old co-worker or whatnot. And whatever the lawyer said to her, who, the other services person who knows, but he said that, you know, they just wanted to get my mom, wanted to make sure, you know, was alright or whatnot. He said that she was, and that she had sat there in person with him, and she was clean, she was fine, she was talking and whatnot. And obviously, he said, because that first time when I went, but when we didn't know they needed a letter from my mom, that I heard him, and then he sent me out of the room because he had me in there, you know. I'm calling about so-and-so, you know, she's a little bit of mental illness, a little bit of dementia going on, but, you know. The lawyer knows. The lawyer knows my mom is not, like, she's able to say, just like she was able to say that she wanted me out of her own accord, she changed her mind. I did nothing to persuade her. She had a change of heart. Maybe she didn't like going to the grocery store by herself. Maybe she realized it would have been a hell of a lot easier if I'd gone with her. I was just grateful that she told me she'd been thinking and thinking last night and today, and that she decided she loves me, and that's what she said. Laura, she sat down on the couch, I was laying there. Laura, I've been thinking, what? I don't want you to move out. I think you should stay here. I think we help each other. I think we belong together. I decided that I do love you and I want you here with me. And I go, what changed your mind? She goes, oh, I've been doing a lot of thinking. I did a lot of thinking last night today. Okay. That's not some human being that's completely out of her mind, crazy or something, you know what I mean? It's not. And the neighbors were impressed with her poem. I know she's just hurting. She won't have anything to do with her church friend. She feels like the church friend. She feels like anyone who's had to call the police on her has betrayed her. That time we thought that she could go to the regular hospital and just get her meds adjusted, or go back to that the hospital she'd been in, and we falsely thought that that was really bad because the church woman offered to drive my mom. She went voluntarily instead of us having to call 911. It wound up being bad. My mom wound up being sectioned again and going into a different hospital, and it was just awful. It's just, in her eyes, it's betrayal. In our eyes, me no longer, not after the fiasco that happened with these last two mental hospitals, no fucking way. I will never call the police on my mom again unless it's like I really feel like she's a danger to herself or others or whatnot. And that's definitely not the case right now. Okay? It wasn't the case even when she was occasionally having those public outbursts. I haven't been out in public with her. You know, if that's part of very, very mild dementia, you know, it hasn't been happening, but I haven't been out in public with her. Oh no, that's not true. I was out in public with her. I went to see that new psychiatrist. She didn't have any public outbursts. She did walk out of the psychiatrist's room when I was given history that he'd asked me for, because he's trying to help her, and you can't help someone who's been sick for that long, you know. And I had to correct her on something. I have a right to. If she next time she said she didn't want me there, she might change her mind about that. Now that we've made up, which we were never fighting in the first place. It was just her. We didn't fight. We haven't fought. We don't fight anymore. I mean, if she goes back to bed and leaves the door wide open and I'm sound asleep in my bedroom and I wake up and she's gotten up with Mel and I was Angel and left the door wide open and go back to bed, I have to say something to her. And I have the note on the door. I mean, you know, I have to. That's just, I cannot stand that. I can stand a lot of things, but not the door being left wide open when we're both sound asleep. So that's where it stands. I wish she wanted to move. I wish it so badly. But she does not want to move. And it's up to her. And I still am in constant fear that people won't leave us alone. It's so convenient to point to someone, oh well, that person's mentally ill, so they don't know how to make decisions that are best for them. It's just, I don't know. I think it's bullshit. What she said to me was not, that was somebody who's having insight into the situation. That's not somebody crazy or whatnot. And what I told you, she said exactly what she said, more or less. I can't remember it verbatim, but she sat down. Laura, I've been thinking, what? You know, I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay here with me. We help each other out. We're good for each other. She also said, I've decided that I do love you and want you here. That's everything she said. And when I said, what changed your mind? She said, oh, I did a lot. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I did a lot of thinking last night and today. That's almost verbatim. And my mom sat down on the couch yesterday. I was on the couch and she sat at the end of it and that's what she said to me. Of her own accord, she reached that decision completely on her own. She didn't even know that the woman from the assisted living was coming. Because I understandably, and even the other neighbor recommended that I don't tell my mom. She said, don't tell your mom at all. She said, just have the woman show up and see. And then you have a witness if your mom freaks out. But I was planning on telling my mom, like a couple hours prior. The woman was to come until late afternoon. I was planning on telling my mom ahead of time. I'm not just going to have the woman show up here, but I I was going to record my mom and see how she reacted. Who knows why my mom came to that decision on her own. Maybe it was difficult for her. She did the grocery shopping and she got everything went up, and maybe she found it difficult, you know. But she said she's been doing a lot of thinking in general. It was the night before and today, you know. And she reached this decision without anybody saying to her, you know, that you're probably not going to be able to live alone. You try to live here alone, they might come out, you know, you might wind up in a nursing home or whatnot as a ward of the state. If anything happens or whatnot, the elder service will step in and that will be all she wrote. But nobody said that to her. Certainly not me.